Hey guys, Quexel. Here's a no bullshit guide to teamwork in CSGO. This is mainly focused on people that want to work well with their teammates when they solo queue or if they don't play with a 5-stack all the time in leagues. A lot of people say, oh, I'm stuck in this game because I'm solo queuing and this game is shit. But as soon as you hit that accept button, if you focus on being a good teammate, your games are going to turn out on average a lot better than they should. So first up, you want to make sure that you have a mic, and if not, be very active in chat. Do your best to still communicate with the team. There's really no excuse to not be talking or at least giving information for your team. First up, I wanted to go over the importance of trade frags. A trade is the term used for when someone on your team dies and the enemy who killed them is immediately killed in return. This often requires you or your teammate that's trading for you to be a little more aggressive than normal, but it often works out because you can get the trade kill and it evens out the playing field from that interaction. Your team is always better off because of it. And learning to recognize those situations can be very helpful.
Chicken coop! Chicken fucking coop! Toots, where do you play? Have you ever played this map before?
As you can see, not hitting a crucial trade frag can really fuck up the round for your team and end up making you guys lose. It's also very frustrating for your teammates when they can recognize a spot where you should have traded but you didn't. So becoming conscious and aware of the situations really will help out your game for your team. In order to be prepared for trade situations, you need to focus on staying on par with your team's aggression. Unless you're hanging back to op or something, when they push, you push. Remaining as a unit will not only help escort the bomb to getting planted on T side, but it will also assist you in spotting enemies quickly when they kill your teammates so that you can quickly fuck them up in return. One thing to be conscious of is obviously don't line up for op shots so they can kill at you because that's always fucking embarrassing. Try and minimize over-aggression, which can leave you dead with nobody ready to trade for your death. This clip is a perfect example, and while the rest of the team is mollied off while yellow is pushed out, and instead of hiding behind blue while he waits for the Molotov to burn away, he peeks out further. Thankfully he doesn't die here, but if he did, nobody would have been able to peek the enemy for the trade kill, effectively making us lose our long push. Trades are generally very quick, and often overcommitting to one can cause you to die as well, which is obviously going to drastically shift the round for your team. Here's an example where I kept peeking after not getting an immediate trade and it got me killed. To make matters worse, I had bomb, which is now dropped in a very favorable position for the CTs. A small misstep on my end totally made a fucked up situation for my teammates, which serves as proof that learning when and where to trade is very important. Playing on a team environment, and especially when solo queuing on a team, requires you to adapt. The best of the best are the ones that are not only skilled at the game obviously, but can also adapt to different playstyles to help out their team. Oftentimes, if you find your team is lacking some push power, grow a pair and start opening up sites and fragging for them with some aggression. I often find that if your teammates are being pussies, when they see that you're stomping the enemy with some nice aggression, it inspires them to follow along. This works out to make an explosive T-side, which if executed right with some good aim can be devastating to the enemy team. Increased aggression also means your deaths will get traded more often as well, which is definitely a plus. Nothing is more annoying than a lurker that keeps dying. If your teammates call a strat that seems sensible, you should follow it, especially if you're doing better than them. This probably means they need you to help take or hold sites, and you can be a huge asset for them, instead of waiting across the map waiting for people to rotate and fragging on them. While that may be helping your scoreboard look better, it's definitely not helping your team out in the long run. Not being selfish with grenades is also huge for being a good teammate. People will often ask for you to flash them into certain peaks or smoke off angles so that they can push. Helping them out can often lead to some pretty big plays as well. Another trait to have that is really great is always being aware of what angle is not being watched. If you have a hunch someone might peek from a certain spot and nobody's watching it, keep your crosshair locked on that shit. I've had plenty of times where that saved my teammates from a death or two. Also, a little positivity goes a long ways. If no one's verbally talking about buy or save rounds, make sure you look at the money above teammates' heads before the round starts. It can really indicate whether or not you should buy. Balancing team economy is obviously a big part in good teamwork. Sometimes even if a teammate can still buy an armor and a rifle, if you still have enough money to spot them, buy them their main rifle so that they can buy utilities. Hell, sometimes even tossing them an upgraded pistol can help a round immensely. Swallowing your pride at times can really help lead your team to victory. If you've already tried opping and you just aren't hitting your shots, you should recognize that and try to change your buy next round. Or if your team already has enough players in a certain role already, such as oppers, you should already be able to change up your buy as well to work around that so that your team doesn't have too much of one role. Backseat gaming can get really fucking annoying, especially if you have no idea of what the fuck you're talking about. If your teammates are in clutch situations, nothing should be said over the mic except for concrete facts on where the enemies are. You should be silent for everything else, at the very least talk in text chat. Also, encouraging your teammates after disappointing play instead of flaming them isn't always easy, but it definitely helps out with team morale. To sum up everything in this video, being a good teammate really does just come down to being supportive of your teammates, even when they aren't performing as you'd like, and adapting to their playstyles to really fit in seamlessly, while also being assertive and aggressive when you need to. Of course, if you follow this guide, you should see an improvement in your solo games, as well as possibly get a little action. Thanks for watching.
Panties are real wet.
Looking in the mirror and I can't see a thing. The curse of the ghost, I carry it till I lay. Throw some trash in my grave just to prove it's the same.